Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is your MF Michael Fletcher alongside the crew, Anthony Flayo, Michael Bullock, and Dee Woodson. Guys, we're just going to dive right on in as tonight it was Smackdown Live from the Youngling Center, formerly known as the Sun Dome, in Tampa, Florida. So we started off with the promo segment as it was Cesaro interrupted by Seth Rollins. Then he gets interrupted by Jey Uso as you know, with everything going on. Daniel Bryan hits the ring. It was a 2-for-1 deal. It leads us into the first fight of the night between Cesaro and Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. And Cesaro and Daniel Bryan wins the match in 19 minutes and 10 seconds. Oh my freaking God. Smackdown Live, you absolutely annihilated this at the jump. Holy freaking crap. All right. The segment was good. Everybody played their parts really well in the promo segment. I thought that was pretty solid. And then you gave us a damn near 20-minute match. 4.25 to 4.5 stars, fight of the night, right out of the gate. Holy freaking crap. I mean, Smackdown Live. Oh, man. This is why we love you. This is why you're better than Monday Night Raw. This is why everybody says that you're right now one of the top programs. When you get matches like this with 4 great professional wrestlers and you just let them go, you almost gives us it was almost like you guys were holding out on us. You guys literally were. Whoever is the producer of this match, whoever was the genius that brought this together, deserves a pay raise right about now. This was absolutely what we needed. A great jump off, a great start. The first 30 minutes of SmackDown was absolutely perfection. And there's nothing to add. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, that was definitely a great way to start the show. I mean, it took up a very good chunk of that first hour. No doubt about that. The segment was fine. It was solid. And, it was definitely, everybody, like MF said, everybody played their parts just fine and the whole 9 yards. And then from there, the match, I mean, a tag team match with 4 of the best. Let me just sum it up like this. The segment, it was a bit of a busy opening to the show. Even so, the supposed tag match was great considering the talent involved. Cesaro was coming off looking like more of a star than ever. The match, agreed, 4.25 to 4.5 stars. There are far worse ways to spend the first 40 minutes of SmackDown than by prominently featuring 4 of the best workers on the brand. This was a fun physical tag team match that highlighted Cesaro while showcasing both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns as cowardly and selfish heels who use and abuse even their closest associates for their own benefit. Bryan was great as Cesaro's hype man after the match, and the sheer number of swings by the Swiss Superman to Jey Uso was incredible. Segment aside, this was a hell of a lot of fun and really highlighted how immensely talented the top of the card is on Friday nights. Above all else, Cesaro continued to look like a legitimate star, which is the point of everything involving him at this point. So there's not much more to say on this. 4.25, 4.5 stars, fight of the night, no doubt about it. Michael Bullock, I mean, wow. What a way to, I mean, this took damn near almost the entire first hour almost.
Yeah, and this, like you said, this definitely almost took up the first hour of the show. I mean, the promo segment. I mean, it was good. Like you said, everybody played their parts well, and yeah, I love the back and forth, and even Daniel Bryan calling Roman Reigns a coward for not wanting a piece of of Cesaro. So I love that little back and forth. So yeah, and as far as the match goes, yeah, 4.25 to 4.5. I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, this was it was just awesome. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, you, I mean, yeah, this was the first match of the show, and this was the fight of the night. All I could say is, I mean, you definitely got to give major props to WWE for this one and giving us a match that we all enjoy here. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So Dee Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, definitely 4.5 stars. It was a very good match. They did a great job. Yeah, the opening segment a little chaotic, but still very storyline driven. Everybody made really good points about everything. So yeah, I don't have a lot more to say on it. So it's yours, Fletch.
And then right after that, we had the perfect cool down match: Nia Jax versus Tamina. Tamina wins the match in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I'm not going to waste any time with this one, guys. We're just going to blow right by this one. Next up, we did have was Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz versus Kevin Owens, the Intercontinental title on the line. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout, 13 minutes and 40 seconds, and still the Intercontinental Champion, Apollo Crews. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
All right. I would say second best fight of the night here. I'm going to rate it between 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Another match, another distraction leads to roll up finish. It's lazy booking, to be honest, and not something this match needed. There were enough moving pieces with Sami Zayn at ringside and the added element of Big E taking exception to Owens receiving the title shot that WWE Creative could have booked a finish that protected all involved without reverting to the same tired-ass finish we saw literally one match earlier. It completely and utterly dragged down a match that was both fun and showcased untapped potential between Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews. Do not be surprised if WWE officials decide to go back to that bout later down the road. But for now, it's a 3.25 to 3.5 star match. The match was fine. The match was very good. I just hated the ending, though. That's all I can say on that. Roll-up finishes, we frown upon that. We really do. So, but other than that, it was a hell of a match, and I wouldn't mind seeing those two go at it again anytime soon. I would not. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, great match, bad finish. Still the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Apollo!
Yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, the match was good. The ending, I just did not like. I agree with the rating, 3.25 to 3.5. I mean, yeah, obviously this was the right move here, and yeah, so there really is nothing more to say. So I'm just gonna give it to Dee Dee Woodson.
Yeah, I could go about 3.25, 3.5. Yeah, it was. It started out great. Ending sucked. Um, but yeah, it after the backstage segment, it led to them making a match for Backlash with Cruz and Big E. So yeah, it served its purpose. We'll put it that way. But still, not crazy about how it ended. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5. Solid match. The ending did take away from the battle itself, but I kind of feel like the way that this is playing out, I could actually see, and I know WrestleMania Backlash, you're going to see a lot of rematches coming off this. So obviously what you're looking at is possibly Apollo versus Big E, and then possibly Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens one more time, which is fine. That'd be good. But I would have gone one step further. Do a fatal four-way for the title. I mean, you got four possible contenders for the title. You got Apollo as the champion. Owens definitely gets a shot, deserves another opportunity at the title. I mean, he deserves another shot. Yeah, it was a roll-up finish, no doubt about it. But the way that he fought tonight, he deserves at least another shot at the title. Obviously, Big E is guaranteed a title shot for the Intercontinental title for being a former champion, and in a way he got screwed out of the title at WrestleMania. And look, I know a lot of people are like, what about Sami Zayn? Sami will weasel his way into the fight. You know he can use some kind of manipulation, talk about some conspiracy that why are these guys not getting an opportunity? Maybe talking to Sonya Deville, Sonya is probably gullible enough, and she'll throw him into the fight. Even though I know Pierce would say, no, he doesn't deserve it, Sonya will let him in. That would be his ticket in to the Intercontinental title fight. Hey, why not? Fatal four-way IC title. Bullock, I know you were trying to jump in.
Well, what I was going to say is I was going to agree. I was thinking the same thing with the fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship. So that way you got all four of these guys having an opportunity. Because remember, Fletch, SmackDown is called the land of opportunity.
Oh yes.
So why not give all four of these guys a shot?
I think secretly right about now, Dee Dee Woodson's rolling her eyes over the fact that about Sami Zayn getting an opportunity. Just as much as I know Michael Bullock was rolling his eyes at me as well when I said about Sami Zayn's name, about lame duck man getting a shot at the title. And, nothing more to say, and we'll just move right on along, folks. So then we had some vignettes going on. Aleister Black coming back, and it looks like he's got a new attitude and everything else. And quite frankly, guys, I like it. I like his new gimmick. Then we had a little backstage moment where it was Bayley and Bianca, and they kind of go a little back and forth. Bianca Belair, Bayley hyping up Bianca, talking about how she won at WrestleMania and everything else, and then kind of threw the Montez Ford right in the face about how he failed in the whole 9 yards, and pretty much said, hey, I want a shot at your SmackDown Women's title. And Bianca's like, all right, you're on. WrestleMania Backlash, Bayley versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title. I mean, whoa, wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Sasha Banks does not get the shot? Sasha loses out? And Bayley gets the opportunity? Now, okay, kudos to WWE for giving us Bayley versus Bianca, because this is a different match. And this is not part of that WrestleMania thing that we were talking about. Because remember, the premise of the event was called WrestleMania Backlash, and what we were afraid of was we were going to see many matches that were matches that we saw at WrestleMania. All of a sudden, Michael Bullock, I give it to you, they threw us a monkey wrench. I don't ever remember Bianca Belair and Bayley going at it at WrestleMania. They just gave a fresh matchup, even though the rivalry between them two happened before Sasha versus Bianca. They had a nice little rivalry prior. But now we got Bianca Belair versus Bayley for the richest prize in the industry, the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised when I heard about it, Fletch. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, Sasha Banks, she gets left out. I mean, especially after what her and Bianca did at Mania. I mean, look, it's nothing against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair and Bayley going at it, but shouldn't at least Sasha Banks have a little say in this? I mean, that's just how I feel. I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, but I'm definitely all for it. It's a. I know they met before, but never for the SmackDown Women's title. But then again, there are some people who are probably saying, and I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it. Well, wait a minute. Bayley's had the title for so long. What makes her feel like she's earned the right to have another shot at the title that she held for a long time?
The argument that I would have on that, Michael Bullock, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I think the reason why is because of the fact that so many people were so pissed off that Bayley did not even have a match at WrestleMania, and a lot of people felt like they buried her because of the segment with the Bellas, that I think this was their way of giving the fans, especially the Bayley fans, giving her a moment to get a shot at the title. I think this is kind of WWE's mea culpa.
I'm with you on that.
For what happened at WrestleMania.
I'm actually with you on that, Fletch. No doubt. I mean, there are probably other people out there that are probably thinking of the theory I just said. But you know what? They're entitled to their opinion. But I'm with you on that one. So, yeah. And like you said, I mean, this was WWE making up for not having Bayley as part of WrestleMania in a match at Mania, just to have her get buried by the Bella twins. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. So I don't think Bayley's going to regain the title, but I'll tell you, if she does, then the IWC is going to be all over this one, and I hate to say it, Bianca Belair will become a paper champion, but I don't see that happening. So I can't wait to see this go down. So Dee Woodson, it is yours.
We all know Bianca can take out Bayley. She's already done it once. She already proved to Bayley that she was the best, even in that stupid little obstacle course thing that Bayley put up a few months ago. So yeah, I don't quite agree with the fact that they're passing by Sasha Banks, but apparently there's a very good reason for it, and may have to do some digging to find it. But fresh. I guess you can say this is the fresh match for the pay-per-view. So we'll take it and roll with it, and hopefully we'll get information later on why Sasha is kind of out in the cold. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. I do know that she was taking some time off. So I don't know what's going on with Sasha. I haven't heard anything about her. The only time that we actually saw her was last week, and she was not a happy camper over the fact that, that Bianca won the title at WrestleMania. That was the last time that we know about it. And, we were thinking maybe Sasha invokes rematch clause or something like that. No. Sasha's out in the cold, and her former bestie and fellow member of the Four Horsewomen, Bayley, now gets the shot at the title. And, like I said, I think this was a mea culpa by WWE awarding Bayley for at least sticking it out, even though she wasn't booked for WrestleMania. Anthony Florio, this will be an interesting match between Bianca Belair and Bayley. The expectations are definitely high, and especially after what Bianca and Sasha did at WrestleMania. Can Bayley replicate some of that success against Bianca? I mean, some of their matches have been all right, but we're talking pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash. The stakes are a little more higher, and the SmackDown Women's title's on the line as well.
Yeah, now Bayley's got to beat her for the gold. It's a little bit different now. There's no doubt about that. And it's very surprising. I mean, we all thought that we were going to get Bianca and Sasha too. We all thought that was coming. But obviously they decided to go with Bayley, which I commend them for. And I believe she damn sure deserves it after that BS we saw at WrestleMania. I mean, having her get buried by the damn Bellas, I mean, I'm still miffed off at that, to be honest with you. She damn sure deserved better, and the fans wanted it, and there you go. And this is obviously her reward for taking that burial at the hands of the Bellas. I mean, if they asked me, to get buried by somebody and they offered me a nice payoff in return, even though I wouldn't like it, I would do it. And that's obviously what Bayley did. So credit to her. I've been looking into what's going on with Sasha. I haven't seen or heard anything either, but who knows? Maybe the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania Backlash in June on Father's Day night just happens to be Money in the Bank. Could they maybe have Sasha win that? And then she possibly cashes in on Bianca and goes after her again. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, it's very exciting to think about. And I'm glad that Bayley's getting this opportunity after that awful moment at WrestleMania when they fed her to the Bellas of all things. I mean, which absolutely came out of nowhere. And, but kudos to WWE. I give you all the credit in the world. She damn sure deserves this opportunity. I don't know if she's going to win. I mean, would you really take the title off of Bianca this soon after the biggest moment of her life? I hope not. That's all I can say. I think Bianca
doesn't make sense to me if they do that.
Well, we'll see. But if Bianca gets by this, which I think she will, or maybe they just might say, or maybe they want to save it for an even bigger stage, like a certain big party of the summer, maybe they might be saving it for that, possibly. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But the real reason for this, obviously, is because they're obviously making it up to Bayley after, like I said, Mania. So looking forward to it, no doubt about it. I think it should be a very good matchup, and my early projection is Bianca retains. So not much more to say. MF, let's move on.
Then we lead off with another tag team match, as it was the Mysterios going up against the Alpha Academy. Mysterios wins the match in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And Dee Woodson, I'll give you a quick thought on that.
It was a pretty good match. Nothing to really write home about, but it was a pretty good match. I mean, the guys were very entertaining, and kudos to Dominic for all the punishment he took there at the beginning of the match. I mean, dang, he was in there for what, at least through one commercial break, something like that. It was brutal for him. But yeah, I mean, they did great, and I'm glad it's them getting the chance to go up for the titles again instead of Otis and Gable. I'm going to give this probably 2.5 to 3. Like I said, it was a pretty good match. It was solid. So, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. Yeah, no, this was 2.5 stars. No doubt about it. Solid fight. Anthony, quick thought.
I'm actually going to go a little bit higher here. I'm going to be a little more generous with this because I'm going to give this about 3 to 3.25. This was a really solid, high-energy tag team match between two teams that have feuded for what feels like forever, but have quietly developed strong in-ring chemistry over that time. There will be those that argue the team of Gable and Otis needed the win more to continue to build credibility with the WWE Universe, and while there is validity to that argument, the argument can be made that Rey and Dominic needed the win more to retain their own legitimacy after months of doing everything in their power to put the new team over. Either way, it still feels like the Street Profits are the next in line to challenge for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, begging the question, what is the end game with these two teams? Has this all been to keep them busy, to give them something to do? I don't know. But you can make an argument, somewhat of a championship committee moment here, because this win definitely puts the Mysterios, it definitely shoots them up the rankings in the tag team division. I'd say right now they're number 2, because I still feel the Street Profits are still the number 1 contenders, in my opinion. But if anything, I would love to see Rey and Dominic, get that moment, to see a father and son team become tag team champions someday. I would love to see that. That would be history making. So
yeah,
we'll wait and see. So 3.25. I'll go as far as to call this the sleeper fight of the night. I didn't have any high hopes for this, but they ended up surprising me. 10.5 minutes. That's great. Well deserved. Good job, guys. Solid job. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, sleeper fight of the night for me. 3.25 stars. 10.5 minute bout.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it even 3 stars. I mean, this turned out to be something good here. I mean, when I first heard of it, I mean, I didn't think it was going to be all that special, but they turned out to be a really a good match here. So, and yeah, I mean, I think the Mysterios are going to be next in line to challenge for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and I would really love to see that moment where Rey and Dominic do become the champions. Whether that happens or not, it remains to be seen. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
We go into the main event of the evening. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan both in the ring looking for Roman Reigns. Roman comes out with the trio. Is him, Paul Heyman, and Jey Uso. Roman gets into the face of Cesaro, says he doesn't earn a shot. Get out. You're not worthy of being the Universal Champion. They both are asking for Universal title matches, opportunities. Then he turns his attention to Daniel Bryan. And this is where, if you're a member of the Yes Movement, you're probably getting very nervous right about now. Roman Reigns says that he'll do it under one condition. You put your career on the line. You put everything on the line. If I win, you never show your face on SmackDown ever again. You're done. Daniel hesitates and does it. He says, I accept. Next week on SmackDown Live, title versus career. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, 1-on-1. Oh my God. Whoever would have thought we were going to get this match and this close. Oh man. Network TV, SmackDown Live, you got us amped up next week. Oh my God, are we amped for this title match? Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, title versus career. Ooh. This is it. The Yes Movement either lives or dies next week. And it's going to be one way or the other. There is no way out on this. And I pray to God there's no clunky finish. I don't want a clunky finish. We need an outcome on this one. This is too big of a match for a screwy finish. That's all I'm asking. Let us have a battle. Let us have a title fight. And win or lose, we need an outcome. Anthony Florio, if tonight's show was insane, next week we got 2 title matches. We got an Intercontinental title match and the Universal titles on the line.
In what will be, without question, the most anticipated SmackDown main event since Kofi Kingston and Brock Lesnar on that very first SmackDown on Fox, October of 19 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. I mean, it's probably even more anticipated than that one. I mean, man, there's no doubt about it. This was the segment of the night, no question about it. But I noticed something. You heard them specifically say that we wouldn't see Bryan on SmackDown again if he lost. Daniel Bryan to Raw or NXT? Anyone? I highly doubt Bryan's going to win the title. And we know his contract is not up until later in the year. So that's definitely a lot to think about. But they said SmackDown. They didn't necessarily say WWE or NXT or any of that. I highly believe Roman Reigns will successfully defend the Universal Championship, and Bryan will no longer be on SmackDown. So MF, cherish that match next week, and I know this will be the hardest loss for your brand ever since the Phenomenal One left. And we know AJ Styles was the heart and soul of SmackDown when it was SmackDown Live, and then once he left, then Daniel Bryan became the heart and soul. I mean, he's been with the brand since the brand extension 2.0 started, when he was the general manager, along with Shane O'Mac when he was the commissioner. And since day one, that's where Daniel Bryan has been. Bryan's been nowhere else. The thought of him possibly being on Monday Night Raw gives me freaking goosebumps. I mean, we need a shot in the arm right now. Oh boy, do we need a shot in the arm after all these piss poor shows that we've had over the last few weeks. And Raw is in a major rut right now. And if we could get a Daniel Bryan on our show, I mean, that would be huge. That would definitely give us a much needed shot in the arm, and we need one desperately. Oh boy. But then again, could he pull a Finn Balor and go to NXT? I mean, that would give Bullock goosebumps. I mean, Bryan working with the young men of NXT. I mean, Bullock would go friggin' nuts if that happens. So we'll have to wait and see. But next week, though, 2 huge title matches. Big E getting his rematch with Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Hopefully it will be a better match than what we saw at WrestleMania. Even though it was a very good match, it was just dicked for time, unfortunately. Hopefully they don't get dicked for time here. And Bryan and Roman, you let that sucker main event, and hopefully you give that time, and hopefully we'll get those elements of Shakespearean drama. I mean, no disrespect to Edge, but like I said, it should have been these two at Mania 1-on-1 to begin with. But then again, they added Edge, and look what happened. It ended up stealing the damn show. It ended up being the best match of the 2 nights. So with these 2 1-on-1 without Edge, this could be just as good or maybe even better. So MF, like I said, cherish this, because I strongly believe unless they pull a fast one on us and they do the unthinkable and they give them the title, which would be freaking awesome, I really don't see this. I really don't see it happening. I would love to see it. I know Bullock would love to see it. Didi would love to see it. I'm sure even you would love to see it, MF. But at the same time, I mean, Roman is the best damn thing you got going. I mean, he is, even though he's a dominant heel, he is your frontline soldier, and he can now take the reins of that. It started with AJ, then it was Bryan. Now Roman can really be that soldier of Friday Night SmackDown and take that show to even bigger heights. So, man, I don't know what else there is to say. So, Michael Bullock, I hate to say it, but I think this will be the last time we'll be seeing the Yes Man on Friday nights. But get ready, though. The most anticipated main event on SmackDown since Kofi and Brock on that first SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah, this is definitely well, first off, this was the segment of the night, hands down. I mean, well, and one more thing I want to talk about, and I don't know how you guys I know Roman Reigns came out and said Cesaro's not world championship material. I beg to differ. I mean, this man has proven it time and time again that of how good he is in the ring. I mean, look at what he did at WrestleMania. He finally got his first singles win at Mania against Seth Rollins, one of the best. And it wasn't that long ago. I think it was in 2013. He actually, I think he actually defeated Randy Orton. So, if you tell me beating those kinds of names is not world heavy, that doesn't make him world championship material, I don't know what the hell will. So sorry, Tribal Chief, I disagree with you, but it is what it is. But all I can say is, man, oh man, I cannot wait for next week. I mean, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan puts his career on SmackDown on the line. Man, this is going to be something. I really hope there is no screwy finish. One thing I would like to see happen, and I don't know how you guys feel, you need to ban Jey Uso and Paul Heyman from ringside. That's what I think you need to do. Let these two go at it. Let them main event it and let them have a clean finish the way we want it. I mean, when you got these two going at it. Now, whether Adam Pearce does it or not, that remains to be seen. But that's the one thing I want to see. Jey Uso, Paul Heyman, you're banned from ringside. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of the most highly anticipated main events in a long time, and I do agree. I think Roman's retaining. I don't see Daniel Bryan going to NXT because I would think it's a bit of a downgrade. But even though the product is really good, but I think Monday Night Raw needs him more than NXT because Raw is struggling right now, and you put the Yes Man on there, I think it's a huge boost for Monday Night Raw. So I cannot wait to see what goes down next Friday. So, Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, definitely the fight of the night. I can agree with the ratings. Yeah, this is going to be a big match next week. Honestly, I could see him going to NXT to help boost, and help train these guys for their pushes up, because that was what he said he wanted to do, is to give back to the other competitors to help them come up. So I could actually see Daniel Bryan doing that. But yeah, Raw does need a big shot in the arm, because definitely SmackDown knocked you out of the park this week. So yeah, as far as banning Uso and Heyman, that's pretty much wishful thinking. Yeah, I think we all would like to see that, but it's very wishful thinking. Roman's had the title for quite a while, so I would not be entirely surprised if they do go ahead and put it on Daniel, but I don't think they will. I think he's going to hang on to it for a little bit longer before they do that. So not much more I'm going to add. It's your Fletch.
With that said, we're just going to get into overall review. So, Anthony Florio, you lead off. How did SmackDown do tonight?
Far better than Raw, that's for damn sure. But then again, I sound like a broken damn record when I say that. But, you did it again, MF. We had 3 very good matches. A lot of great angle advancement. We only had one bad match, which was the Nia and Tamina, which it was the perfect cool down for that. But lost in all of that, even though that match was a dud. I mean, a couple things that came out of it. First, unfortunately, Ellsworth 2.0 is back rearing his ugly head again. And number 2, Tamina getting the win. Obviously, it means a possible championship committee moment. And I think we could be seeing maybe not Nia and Shayna against Natalya and Tamina, possibly at WrestleMania Backlash for the women's tag team titles. And if that should happen, I'm going to go on the record and I'm going to say Natalya and Tamina are going to win the belts because I think Shayna and Nia are on the verge of an implosion. And all I can say is it's about damn time because Shayna Baszler damn sure deserves a lot better than that. But all kidding aside, only one dud match. Everything else was solid to good to great. The opening tag match with Bryan and Cesaro against Seth Rollins and Jey Uso, that was clear fight of the night. Second best fight of the night, Intercontinental matchup. Apollo Crews, Kevin Owens, even with the clunky finish there. And then rounding out the top 3, obviously, the Mysterios and the Alpha Academy, solid match there. And then that closing segment was very well done. So I would probably give this show somewhere between 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. And another great edition of Friday Night SmackDown. And next week, I mean, 2 huge title matches. Apollo Crews, Big E, WrestleMania return match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And then, of course, the most anticipated main event since in a year and a half, since Kofi and Brock, that being Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan title versus career for the Universal Championship. So 7.5 to 8. SmackDown continuing to kill it. Monday Night Raw, I ask you, why in the world can you not give us shows like this every week? Why? Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, 7.5 to 8 for me.
Yeah, you wish Monday Night Raw would give you shows like this, but that's what happens when you got a bunch of yes men running the or as you would like to say, Florio, the Ritters at Monday Night Raw that are running the show here. So, but yeah, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I mean, you only had one bad match, and everything else was solid to good to great. And yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to add to it. So, Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this definitely was a very good SmackDown. I'm going to hit it with 8 out of 10 stars. Like I said earlier, SmackDown hit it out of the park. They pretty much demolished Raw this week. This goes to show you, that the quality of matches were better. You didn't try to cram as much stuff into the 2 hours like Raw tends to do with their 3 hours. They try to get as much content in that time as they can. SmackDown took their time. They let the storylines build through the matches, through the segments. They did an awesome job. So, yeah, I really don't have too much negative to say about it. Definitely an implosion there. You could see it even before the match even started when Shayna was just pretty much kind of rolling her eyes. And, when Ellsworth 2.0 came out. And then he was, of course, the one who actually did cost Nia the match. So, It is what it is, but yeah, this is definitely the the better of the show, the two shows for the week. So not much more I'm going to add. Good night, guys. See you Monday.
Good. Good night. 8.5 out of 10 for me. You guys basically said everything that you needed to say. So we're gonna go into the big announcement. On Mikey's Mindset, Major League Wrestling (MLW). Basically, what they have decided and they have announced is that they are leaving being in sports and is joining Vice TV. Now, everybody's wondering, wait a minute, Vice TV? What's that company? They're the company that has brought us the dark side of the ring. That's right. The documentary series that has really opened the door on the world of professional wrestling. And they have brought us some riveting, compelling, downright crazy episodes of Dark Side of the Ring. And as a matter of fact, Season 3 is about to start very, very soon, and they're going to start us off with the rise and fall of Brian Pillman. So we're going to get to see that one and buckle up for that episode. So, coming this spring, they are going to be joining, coming this spring is going to be that MLW will be coming on Vice. Vice is already well known for airing Dark Side of the Ring, and adding MLW Fusion to their network is a fantastic addition. It's currently being streamed on 3 different websites. Right now, if you can Dark Side of the Ring, I mean, you can see MLW currently. There are 3 ways that you can watch it right now. 1 on The Zone, 2 via VNN Sports, and 3 on Fubo Sports Network. Those are the 3 ways that you can see it. And there is some content that you'll get to see on YouTube. Not all episodes, but there are content. Now they're going to be on Vice TV, and the CEO of it said that Court Brewer will be on Busted Open Radio, and he was going to talk about it. Brewer founded the company in 2002 and made it prominent in 2017. And with that, that's where the success really started. Now, what a lot of people are wondering is, what is MLW? Well, MLW is a combination of a lot of styles. The strong style of Japan. You got the Lucha Libre of Mexico. You got many different talents in this company. And as a matter of fact, the surviving members of the Von Erich family is in MLW. So Fritz and Rich Von Erich are also a part of it. So this is a big moment for MLW, as now they get to be on a bigger audience, a bigger stage, and this is kind of them getting their feet wet into something that could become something big down the line. MLW has a really good organization. I like their brand of wrestling. And, you know, it kind of gives me a little bit of a Lucha Underground vibe, but it's not really Lucha Underground. You know, there's guys who wrestle there that's been a part of AAA or MCLL. Like I said, the Von Erichs is there. The surviving members of the Von Erich family was there. Brian Pillman Jr. and the Varsity Blondes used to be in MLW before they jumped into Ring of Honor, before they jumped to AEW. A lot of the guys that are in AEW used to be from MLW. Like, I hate to say this, but it's true. Malcolm, MJF. Maxwell Jacob Friedman was one of their prominent stars before he jumped to AEW. So a lot of AEW guys who were from there, that is in there, used to be in MLW. So this is going to be a big moment for them because now this opens the door for them to be in a bigger audience, a wider, broad range for professional wrestling. And for them, we got to see where they're going to be positioned because their shows used to be Friday nights was their shows. But remember, SmackDown is also there now, so you can't touch that. Do you move it to a weekend night? Do you move it to a Saturday? Because there is no wrestling on Saturdays unless there are pay-per-views, but that's few and far in between. Do you go for a Saturday and really give wrestling fans something to chew on at that point? We'll wait and see. So, Anthony, Mike Bullock, I know you're not familiar with MLW, but do you want to give a quick thought? Them going to Vice TV, Dark Side of the Ring, now MLW is now exclusive to Vice TV.
Yeah, I actually came across something, MF. I actually do have the start date for this, and it's going to be on a Saturday night. It's going to premiere on Saturday, May 1st. That's next Saturday night.
Oh, wow.
Court Bauer himself confirmed it in a dirt sheet. I could have shared it with you, but I didn't want to spoil it. So it said here that I'm trying to find where exactly it is, but I do know that all right, it said that MLW's presence will hit in May. We're going to be putting that out, the exact date, very soon. But then he said, you know what? F it. It's May 1. That's when you're first going to see MLW. This isn't like new footage. It's just the library, so you can see the 2020 stuff. That's what Court Bauer himself said. And so there you have it. MLW will be on Saturday nights, so there's going to be wrestling on every just about every night of the week now. I mean, with the exception of Sunday, unless there's a pay-per-view. And, of course, this Sunday we got the Impact Rebellion pay-per-view, which we all know is going to be incredible. I got a very good feeling about that show. And you got Raw Monday, you got NXT Tuesday, AEW Wednesday, Impact on Thursday, SmackDown Friday, and starting next week, you're going to have MLW on Saturday for those of you who have Vice TV. So I know we all have it. So there you go, MF. May 1st. This is great for Vice. I mean, it makes sense considering they have Dark Side of the Ring, which is a big hit amongst all of us. I mean, we all love it, but I know somebody who loves it more than anybody, and that's Michael Bullock. I mean, that's become Michael Bullock's friggin' Bible, for goodness sakes, because that's how much Bullock loves the show. So, but we love it too. Don't get us wrong, we love it too. But Bullock is all over that stuff. Let me tell you, he could tell you stories upon days about that show. So, but it's a great move for them, perfect fit, and starting next week, we're gonna have wrestling on every night of the week. And think about and you throw in the Impact pay-per-view on Sunday. I mean, from Sunday to Saturday, this upcoming week, there's gonna be wrestling on every night. So pay-per-view, Raw, and the rest of the way. So wow. So, and I do know MLW Fusion a little bit, MF. I saw a little bit of it from here and there. I know Tony Schiavone did some work with them. Along with another guy named Rich Bocchini or somebody, and they had a War Games match of their own that I remembered watching. It was not as exciting as the War Games that we grew up with, but and I know they have a very dominant champion of their own in Jacob Fatu. I know he's been a very dominant champion, probably as long as Roman or maybe even Walter or somebody like that. So I know he's held it for a very long time. I just don't know how long, but yeah, great move for them. We'll see what happens, and I wish them the best. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, do you want to give a quick thought or anything?
Yeah, I can't. I can't wait to see how this goes next Saturday night for this MLW. I mean, if it's what everyone's saying, I cannot wait to see how it goes, especially on Vice TV. I mean, basically been home for that dark side of the ring. I mean, and now with this, man, I certainly cannot wait to see it. So that's really all I gotta say. So Fletch, it is yours.
And we are going to call it a night, guys. We're done. So tomorrow on Monday night, we do it all over again. Once again, Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. Wednesday night will be Wednesday Night Mayhem. As always, there is no Strictly Sports Thursday, guys, because of the fact it's the NFL Draft. We will have something on the draft night next week, the week after. So we're going to do that the week after. And then 1 week from tonight, once again, we will have the Cerebral Smack Talk. Now, there is one order of business that we do need to get into. And I didn't know if we were going to get into it or not, but I think it should be, we should at least address it, Anthony. And I'm not going to go into like an actual prediction type thing, but we should at least address it. This weekend, or I should say, this weekend is Rebellion. That is the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view event. This is the highly anticipated show. Just to give a quick little rundown on the fight card, we got an 8-man tag team match, as it will be Violent by Design. Eric Young, Diener, Joe Doring, and Rhino. They go up against Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, James Storm, and Willie Mack. Then in a last man standing match, we got Trey Miguel versus Sami Callihan. Anthony, last man standings. Oh God.
Oof. Yeah. I got a feeling about this one. I mean, I'm thinking maybe Trey Miguel goes over here. I mean, because of the fact that, Sami Callihan's been all over him, questioning his passion for the business and all that. But I'm telling you this, MF. I mean, this card from the top, like I said before, I'm going to sound like Jesse Ventura from WrestleMania 5. From the top of the card to the very bottom, I mean, there's something for everyone. And quite frankly, when it comes to the last man standing match here, I mean, it could go either way. It really could. But, I mean, I know it definitely favors Sami Callihan, no doubt about it. But Trey needs to win. Sami has had, marquee attraction after marquee attraction ever since he came to Impact in 2017. Trey, meanwhile, has merely been a guy you can rely on for a good match. I think this is his time to break out. So I have Trey Miguel winning that match.
All right. Then we also got Fire and Flava putting the Knockouts tag team titles on the line against Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. Yep. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable announcement with that one. What a huge get for Impact.
Huge get for Impact, yes. Rachel Ellering, for those of you who don't know, is the daughter of the legendary Paul Ellering, or as he was best known as Precious Paul Ellering, the manager of the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. I know he's got to be a proud papa right now, and I don't know why. My gut is telling me to go with Grace and Ellering to win the titles, but I just got this feeling about Fire and Flava right now. I mean, but the team of Jordan and Rachel, they're a makeshift pairing. It could work, but I say give Fire and Flava a longer title reign. And furthermore, Jordan's Impact contract expires next month with no word yet on if she'll be resigning. So with that, I think it adds up for a Hogan and Steele's title retention. So I'm going to go with Fire and Flava. It's a reluctant thing, but I would not at all be surprised if Jordan and Rachel win the titles. I wouldn't.
All right. And then next up that we do have is we're going to have Matt Cardona going one-on-one with Brian Myers. This one actually has been a little bit of a back and forth, Anthony, and it actually did lead to a situation during WrestleMania weekend where Brian Myers was in a blindfold match, and Matt Cardona kind of was the reason why he lost the match. This has been a sibling rivalry between these two men. It finally comes to head at Rebellion.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention. You forgot to mention about the Violent by Design. No,
I talked about that first.
Yeah, but I didn't give my thought on it. So,
okay, yeah.
Really quick. I'm just gonna say Violent by Design wins because they're on a major roll right now, so I got to go with them to win that match. But as far as this match is concerned, this has been ongoing for a couple of months now. These two guys were in the WWE. They started as the Major Brothers, and then they became Hawkins and Ryder. They started hanging in. They became the Edge Heads. They hung with Edge and Vicky Guerrero and Bam Neely when they had that faction known as La Familia in WWE in 2008. And when they had that rivalry with the Undertaker for the most part, and they go back years, and of course their most notable moment, of course, the pre-show of WrestleMania 35 when they won the Raw Tag Team Championship. Kurt Hawkins beating the now FTW when they were the Revival, ending a 269 match losing streak. Unreal, but for me, I got to go with Brian Myers here. I mean, putting him over should be a necessity for Rebellion. Matt Cardona can be a star wherever he goes, as he's already proven with his brief run in AEW last summer. And that's not to say Brian Myers can't be a star in his own right, but he's the guy who's currently signed. Cardona really isn't, and there's more money in putting Myers over here. So I'm going with Brian Myers to win this match by nefarious means.
All right, and we have a triple threat match, a three-way dance for the X Division Championship. The champion, Ace Austin, versus Josh Alexander versus the former champion, TJP. Anthony, I heard a woo there. I'm thinking this is going to be pretty epic.
Question for you, MF. Have you seen the matches with these guys, with any combination of these guys on Impact lately?
Not for the last little bit because of work commitments, but I've heard some really good stuff.
Get ready for a show stealer. I mean, I know it's all about the main event, and rightfully so. I'm sure they're going to steal the damn show, but for me, if there's any match that can overshadow it, this is the match right here. I mean, it's weird to think that a match pitting Ace Austin, Josh Alexander, and TJP may not be the match of the night. But hey, it's still going to deliver, not only in terms of a cracking bout, but also in terms of a new champion. Ever since, for Josh Alexander, his former partner in the North, Ethan Page, departed Impact at the start of the year and went to AEW, and now he's teaming up with Scorpio Sky. The Walking Weapon has done some superb work versus the likes of Brian Myers and Madman Fulton and his two opponents here. Granted, Alexander does technically have the momentum coming in following his and Petey Williams' win over Austin and Fulton and TJP and Falaba at Hardcore Justice, and that certainly stole the damn show, as well as Petey's defeat of Fulton and Falaba last night on the Before the Impact pre-show that they do on Access TV before Impact Wrestling goes on the air. And this puts him in the trope of, well, he has the momentum, so he can't win, surely. But forget all that, though. Josh Alexander, for me, is the right choice. Each pay-per-view brings with it an aura of freshness to Impact Wrestling, and therefore the former World Tag Team Champion of the North is fitting of the X Division Championship. Ace Austin has been a great champion so far, but sorry, Ace, your time is up. Winner and new X Division Champion, Josh Alexander, the Walking Weapon.
And then one match that definitely got my interest on the fight card, the Knockouts Women's title on the line. The champion, the virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, puts the title on the line against Tennille Dashwood. Anthony, what a matchup this is going to be. When Tennille Dashwood won the Battle Royale, or I think it was like a six-person challenge, a six-pack challenge.
It was Hardcore Justice.
It was at Hardcore Justice.
Weapons
she became the last woman standing. She won it. She got the title shot, and this really perked my interest because knowing both of these women really well, this could also be a show stealer.
It could, and MF. I know for a fact that I mean, you've been a fan of Tennille Dashwood ever since the whole Emelina thing, but boy, she's come a long way. I don't like Caleb with a K. I can't stand him. I mean, he's their version of Reginald. Let's be realistic. And but all kidding aside, this has a weird feel to it, though. I mean, because these are two over-the-top, obnoxious heels, and Deonna Purrazzo is on the run of her career, deep into her second run as the Knockouts champion. Tennille Dashwood hasn't really done much in her Impact career, and other than an enjoyable title bout versus Taya Valkyrie at the 2019 Bound for Glory event, is as good as she's had it. Her victory in Hardcore Justice's #1 contenders bout was a genuine surprise. Surely Impact fans thought they aren't going with Tennille for an important pay-per-view title bout. And that's no jab at her either, by the way. She simply hasn't been booked to deserve such an opportunity. Purrazzo deserves immense praise for making every situation work. Her recent title program with the now-retired Jazz was not all that great, and neither was the bout. They were both carried to greatness through association with the Virtuosa. Again, this is not a moment to be derogatory towards Jazz. She just doesn't have much left in the tank. But needless to say, Deonna must retain at Rebellion. Ideally, with Taylor Wilde confronting her either post-match or maybe next Thursday on Impact, that in itself would be a superb story capable of removing the dire story arc that has been Deonna versus Tennille. This is definitely one of the easiest ones to call here. Winner and still the Knockouts champion, the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. Far and away the best thing going in the Knockouts division today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then we go into the Impact World Tag Team title fight. FinJuice, yes. David Finlay and Juice Robinson from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
What a story.
They went through the forbidden door and they got themselves some gold. They took the titles away from Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. They want those belts back. They're steaming mad. And Anthony, on Sunday, they get those shots to regain the gold.
I'm very curious, MF, before I give you my thought. What went through your mind when I sent the message in the messenger that you and Ferreira noticed when I messaged you guys that FinJuice won the titles?
I lost it. I marked. I could not believe that happened because it's one of those moments where you just cannot believe that they literally put the belts on a team from New Japan.
I know.
It's like we talk about the forbidden door being open, and the forbidden door swung. And the minute that FinJuice walks away with the gold, we're like, "Oh my freaking god! What the hell? Yes!" I was ecstatic.
I knew you would be because we all know your love for New Japan, obviously, especially you and Derek. I mean, that's the Bible for the two of you. But anyways, the Good Brothers and FinJuice's World Tag Team Championship showdown at Sacrifice last month was a superb tag team outing, and we're getting round 2 here. David Finlay and Juice Robinson are set to return from New Japan Pro Wrestling to make their first defense of the titles against Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. Considering how good their clash was on an Impact Plus special, we can merely imagine what they'll be capable of achieving on a proper full-blown pay-per-view. A second run for Gallows and Anderson is needed here, and not only because the titles have been missed while the champions were in Japan. Over in AEW, the Good Brothers with Kenny Omega, Don Callis, and the Young Bucks are part of this super elite group, if you will. The image of Kenny, Doc, Carl, and the Jacksons all holding titles is the image this group needs. Thus, it's a shame Gallows and Anderson lost their belts so soon. The Bucks weren't even fully fledged members by that point. By having the Good Brothers regain the titles from Finlay and Robinson, and then rocking up on Dynamite Wednesday alongside their elite stablemates, all drenched in championship gold, is the perfect post-pay-per-view picture. Winners and once again Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers. MF, imagine that super elite stable with all the gold.
I mean, it definitely could very well happen because the main event, it is a winner-take-all, title for title. The Impact World Champion, Rich Swann, versus the AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega. Anthony, it has the feel of a WrestleMania 6. Title for title, winner take all. We had many of these battles before. We have these matches are few and far in between. But when you got the AEW World Title and the Impact Wrestling World Title both on the line, you want to talk about the forbidden door wide open. This is one of those reasons why AEW and Impact Wrestling came together for moments like this.
Simply put, it's the biggest match in Impact Wrestling history. The Impact Wrestling Unified World Champion versus the All Elite Wrestling World Champion, Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. One company versus another. You can look at this whichever way you want, but the fact remains the same. History is legitimately going to be made. Now, this obviously won't be as great as Omega's most recent world title bout. A standard bout comes nowhere close to an exploding barbed wire death match, but it will be better in some ways. For starters, it's Kenny Omega. We fully believe in the Kenny Omega is the greatest wrestler of all time fact. It's not even a debate at this stage. Rich Swann, however, is on another level right now. He's been lambasted as the underdog coming into this one, but it just isn't the case. Sure, Omega is the odds-on favorite to become the double champion. However, Swann could do it, and no one would bat two eyelids. He's that good right now. Oh, and by the way, you've got the best announcer in professional wrestling today, Mauro Ranallo.
Yes.
He's working this match. Having Mauro Ranallo joining Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown at the announce table is incredible. You can already hear Ranallo screeching at the top of his lungs, "Mamma mia, one-winged angel." That's because it'll be the match-ending move, as far as I'm concerned. I think this will be the fight of the night. I think this is going to steal the damn show, unless the X Division triple threat does it. But this has the potential to be a 5-star classic, no doubt about it. And Mauro Ranallo on commentary is going to put that thing over the damn top. So not much more to say on this. This is the easiest call of it. I mean, I would love to see a Rich Swann do it. I mean, that would be a major shakeup for the Impact and AEW contingent, but there's only one way for this to go. The winner and the winner take all, the winner of all the World Heavyweight title gold, Kenny by God Omega. I don't know what else there is to say on that.
Yeah, and with that, we're just going to call it a night. So, like we said, we ran down the whole card. Anthony said that he will have a recap on Monday night of Rebellion.
Yes,
I will help you with that, Anthony. I will be there to give you my thoughts on it as well.
Good.
And guys, yeah, we're done for the night. Thank you so much as always, and we'll see you guys on Monday. So long for now.
Goodbye.